to you Scorpios. How y'all doing? So you have the Ten of Cups. You Scorpios have the Magician, and then you have the Two of Wands. Now, the Magician is Scorpio. It could be Gemini, Virgo, or Scorpio. Obviously, it represents y'all. Right? So you showed up in your own reading. Okay. Okay, so for you Scorpios, there's a sense of you Scorpios, a lot of you enjoying how your life is going, enjoying being single, mingling, getting to know some people. If things don't work out, you Scorpios are enjoying letting them go, because you Scorpios don't want to hang around somebody that doesn't, that feels like they don't want to be kept when you Scorpios got them, right? They want to, in other words, what I'm trying to say here is that if they want to fly away, you letting them fly away. Cop and blow, right? So, and the thing is that because you realize that a lot of people who you Scorpios are probably going to meet are not really on your level anyway, and that you're only really going to hang out with one person exclusively anyway. And so if a person wants to leave you alone because they feel like there's something else out there, because that's another thing too, everybody chasing the grass is greener mentality, right? The ideology of like chasing the grass is greener, right? Everything is good, the grass is greener. So the three of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles right here speaks to how you Scorpios aren't, I'm gonna be real with y'all, you Scorpios aren't really stressing relationships right now, like I've been talking about. You know, that's what I'm saying. You Scorpios are not stressing relationships. A lot of you Scorpios are really making sure that you look after yourself and make sure that you're in good health, and make sure that you Scorpios have money in your pockets. And like it is, I said in the Sagittarius reading that I did before this one, we're at a time right now where like the dating pool is so diverse. It's so diverse. And what I mean when I say that it's diverse, as it is that I've been saying for a very long time, we have a lane open for everybody. You have some people who are going to do the relationship kind of thing, right? They saying the word and they don't even know what it means, but the whole relationship submit kind of thing. Then you're going to have people who fly out. Then you're going to have people who are not really sweating relationships like that. They'll be single, you know. Then you'll have people who, you know, don't even want to be in relationships. So even if they have an opportunity, they don't even want to be in the relationship, even with the opportunity. You Scorpios, you're somewhere in the midst of, you're not sweating it. But if a person wants to position themselves next to you and be exclusive, that's fine. You will consider them and you will treat them accordingly, right? But if at any point in time that they decide that they don't want to be with you anymore, there's a sense of you Scorpios understanding that that's just how things are, that a lot of people are very fickle and unhappy with no matter whatever it is that they get. So they have the grass is greener mentality, that no matter what happens, no matter how great of a person they get, right, they always gonna find something wrong with the person and a reason to leave. Three of Wands, Nine of Pentacles. You Scorpios are not worried about that. You're not worried about that. You Scorpios are like somewhere like this, right? Somewhere like this, because there's a sense of you looking after your, like, you know how whenever it is that you get yourself to a good place, you ain't got to worry about somebody stressing you out, a significant other stressing you out, that's where you Scorpios are. You worried about what it is that you've got going on in your own future, as opposed to us. A lot of relationships today bring a whole lot of stress. I'm telling you from personal experience. I remember knowing somebody that went with my good friend at the time. Obviously, that person isn't a good friend. But I let them two have each other. It hurt. But there's this, like it is, I said, there's a weird fascination with trying to get someone to love them just so that they can actually be like, oh, you love me? Well, let me put myself in needless danger. And let's see if you try. Let's see if you fall for it and you put yourself in competition to save me, or what you call saving me, or what you call protecting me, and all of that, because I'm definitely going to do it again. There's a weird fascination with that, because when you as Scorpios would have been in relationships, and you Scorpios tell people it's going to break the trust of our relationship, them goofy behinds still went over there. And then they needed your help. And then you Scorpios are like, how you gonna come to one of the more mysterious zodiac signs and ask me for help after they done messed up? Right? Like, how, you know what I'm saying? Like, how are they going to come back to you and ask you for help after they set the arena up to be like this in the first place? All they needed to do was just have your back, but they ain't want to do that. And so the Three of Swords, the Two of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles is about, again, because they have this grass is greener mentality, a lot of you Scorpios are watching a whole lot of people chase their shadow, or chase somebody else's shadow, chase illusions or projections on the wall. Like, you know, the stuff that they do in like them caves, or like them projections, they put up these shadow figures. That's how it is that they moving. They chasing after something that is an illusion. That is the point that I'm trying to make. That's why because no matter what happens, my dear Scorpios, they're not going to be good with anything long term. That's why the marriage rate is whack. That's why everybody breaking up, right? You know, some people can get together and stay together, but it's the fickleness. And so the Three of Swords, the Two of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles, they are going to mess their own selves up behind this. You Scorpios don't and will not have anything to do with it. They can't come to you and say and tell the truth and be like, oh, you Scorpios are the one that did it, because they know that they'd be lying if they said that, because they'd be lying if they said that. They're factually lying at that point, because you Scorpios aren't chasing after anyone. You're not even necessarily even looking. You know, you Scorpios going to the store, y'all go to buy a shirt. So if somebody see you in the store and they say, oh, I kind of like this person, and they coming on to you like that, yo, all right. Then you have the Justice and the Knight of Cups, right? And these two cards, is about, and a lot of you Scorpios probably wanted to be like this for a long time, but you probably felt like you had some sort of moralistic obligation to keep trying your hand, or, you know, maybe some people around you Scorpios kept telling y'all, nah, don't quit, right? Maybe I was the one that was telling y'all don't quit, but you Scorpios was like, nah, you want to take a break, and there's nothing wrong with that. is what the cards are saying. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Nothing wrong with that. Because the reason why it is that I said that there's nothing wrong with that is because all you Scorpios need to do is essentially keep doing you. Live your life. Because like I said, there's nuance out here. Some people are going to be in relationships. Some people are going to choose not to be in relationships, right? But if one comes through the door, cool. Some people, even if they have an opportunity, they're still going to say no because they don't want to have anything whatsoever to do with romantic relationships, romance and all of that. They're through. They don't want that. They're done with that. And so you Scorpios being in the middle of those two things where it's like, yeah, you know, like you cool being a bachelor or a bachelorette, but at the same time, if someone showed you interest that happens to tag all of your physical attraction traits or things that you want, you Scorpios may decide to actually get to know them. But you've been wanting to do this for a while. You just felt discouraged because some people around you was probably discouraging you, or you Scorpios felt like you had to try one more time. But nah, a lot of you Scorpios, y'all good. A lot of you are good. Just being by yourselves, kicking it. See, a lot of the times or whatever, right? People gotta, you know, especially in the tarot reading community, people gotta constantly tell you that, yeah, a relationship is coming and all that stuff because they want to keep you interested, right? Because relationships and everything like that is a hot topic. But very rarely will they tell you, you know, sometimes not being in a relationship is better than being in one. Because if you know you're not really built for a relationship, then you don't have to be in one, right? Nobody's forcing you to be in one. If you know that you're better suited to be single, then do just that. Be single. You know? Do whatever it is that really works for you. For real, for real. Let's clarify the Knight of Cups. The Ace of Swords, the Moon, the Six of Pentacles, the Magician, and then you Scorpios have the Two of Swords to clarify the Knight of Cups. Again, you're taking your emotions out of it. There's a sense of you Scorpios emotionally moving on from, how do I say this, from like wanting to be in a relationship and like being, you know, mad that, you know, people can't see your value. There's a sense of you good, you know, because the Ace of Swords, the Moon, and then the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so what if they were to try to get to know you? What would they be bringing to the table? You Scorpios more than likely put way more into the relationship, way more into the relationship than the vast majority or everybody that you call yourself being in a relationship with or getting to know, right? So it's like, so, and trust me, that, let me tell you, Scorpio, something. That'd be the time where people really hot on you. Is when you're just like, no, I don't really. When somebody choose you and you go, nah, I don't really want someone like that, and you really good being by yourselves. Trust me, I've had people running me down, running after me. 2021, 2022, because I was just like, I don't really want to be in a relationship like that. You know. It's the, well, we got to get a chase going. And it's like, well, why? I don't want to chase. Right? Like, what about if I don't want to chase? Maybe I don't want to chase. And see, the thing about it is that the Magician and the Two of Swords speaks to how, again, a lot of you very much so, that's the magic of it all, right? That's the... That's the realization of it all. Once again, you Scorpios finally have access that that last level, and then you have opened up where there are no more levels anymore. The lack of hope is the the last level. Hope is the last level where you realize that, look, you really got to start with the foundation. You got to start with you being single. You got to start with the fact that you woke up today. You know, like, you got to start with the fact that if you're healthy, you able-bodied, you okay. You got to start with the fact that, you know, just because you speak to somebody does not mean that they are obligated to choose you. Just because you get a person's number doesn't mean anything per se. It doesn't even mean that the person is obligated to choose you. It just means that you got a piece of this person's information. Cool. But does that mean that they like you? Yeah, they like you enough to get to give, or for you to give them your number, or for them to give you theirs. And once you Scorpios get yourselves to a position of, once you Scorpios get yourselves to that point, right, to that position of thinking that, now it's like, okay, now you're not pressed about anything, because no matter what it is that people can't say anything to you or about you. Even if they're trying to play, they can't say anything to you or about you. They can't say that you out here and try to get you to chase up on after them, because you know why they can't do that? It's because, again, you are the magician, and you already have the magician. You see it all. You Scorpios understand that at the end of the day, right, you're not running down anybody to be in relationships with them. You're not chasing anybody. The person either wants to hang out with you or not. It really is just that simple, right? When it all comes down to it. I'm oversimplifying it, but to make it simpler, the person either wants to hang out with you or they don't. So that's it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video, smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, set the notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos.